Line charts show trends. Take a look at the chart on the left. It's pretty easy to see that your sales are trending down. Because they show trends, it's extremely important to get your sorts correct. The bottom chart shows the exact same data, but the months are sorted alphabetically instead of chronologically. It's really a different picture of your story. Let's build one. First, let's move this pie chart. Then right-click, New Sheet Object, Chart. Select the line chart. Click Next. We'll choose Month as our dimension. Click Add. Click Next. We'll go back to our sales expression. We'll do sum, sales amount. Click OK, and Finish. Now let's rearrange a little so we can see what we're doing. And you get an unrefined chart. Step back a little and think about what we've built. It's sales by month, which is fine, but the reality is it gives you sales by month for all the years that you have in your data model. So when you look at January and see 10 million, it's meaningless. It's saying that when you count up sales for every January for all the years in your data, you get 10 million. Let's see the problem by adding a list box for year. Right-click, New Sheet Object, List Box. In the field, we'll select Year, and click OK. Move it up here. Now choose 2014 and watch the chart. Now January sales are closer to 3 million. Now it's meaningful. The same goes for sales by gender chart. The lesson is that as you build your app, think about how it will be used and what someone who comes in cold might see. They won't have your perspective, so make sure to help them out by building things that are straightforward. Clear your filters. And let's go back to the properties of the line chart. Think about the story you want to tell. Do you want to show trend over all time? If so, let's change the dimension to year month. Dimension, double click on month to get rid of it. We'll find year month, add it, click OK. Now it's easy to see that your sales are generally up with a big dip recently. Hover over the dip, and you can see that something bad happened in February. But maybe what you really want to show is year over year. Click Ctrl Z to change your dimension back to month. Then we'll go to the Dimension tab and add year as a dimension. Click Apply. You'll get 3 lines that represent sales for each year. It's pretty easy to see that 2014 was better than 2013, and so far in 2015 is generally better as well. But we still have some work to do to make it presentable. We don't need to tell anybody that the dimension represents months and that the legend is years. Let's remove those labels. On year, uncheck label, month, uncheck label, and click Apply. Much better. The colors are pretty bad. For something like year, a good option is to give different hues of the same color. There are a lot of color sites out there on the web, but a pretty easy to use site is Color Brewer. Let's pick a color scheme for blue. To get enough values to choose from, change the number of data classes to something like 6. Change hex to RGB so that we can use the RGB function in QlikView. And let's use the bottom 3 for our lines. The darkest blue is 2015. Let's go back to the Expressions tab. Click on the plus sign next to your expression, and then double-click Background Color. In the Expression dialog, build your if statement to declare your colors. I'll paste it in. Click OK, and Apply. Consistency is important, so let's make the layout the same as our sales by gender chart. Go to the Caption tab and remove it. Then go to General tab for title settings. First, give it a title. We'll call it Year-over-Year Sales. Click the button for title settings. Choose Divider. Left justification. And don't forget to change the color of the divider to dark gray. Okay. Okay. And okay, and okay. That looks much better. Hover over one of the data points. Month and year look okay, but the expression doesn't have a label and the number format is wrong. Let's go back to the properties. On the Expressions tab, give it a label. We'll use Sales. On the Number tab, let's change it to Money and get rid of the pennies. Click OK. Let's hover again, and now you have something that's readable. Another thing that you can do is display the values in thousands, millions, or billions. Let's go back to the Number tab. In the thousands box, put a K and click Apply. Let's move this out of the way. QlikView changes the axis values to thousands and puts a K next to it to let you know. Honestly, it doesn't handle it very well, but it is an option. Personally, I don't like it, so let's remove it and click OK. The lines don't span the width of the chart because the legend is docked to the right. Let's undock it by holding Ctrl-Shift and moving it a little. And let's resize it. And we can put it up here at the right. Now it's easier to see the data. Finally, let's add some grid lines. Let's go back to the Axis tab and click on Show Grid, both on the X and the Y. Make sure the color is dark enough for us to see it. Click OK, OK, and OK. You end up with a pretty nice chart. One last issue is the staggered labels on the dimension. They're a little hard to read. We'll fix it when we design the final layout.